Welcome to Just Breathe. We've come together to do just that. Take a few minutes to focus our attention on the movement of our breath as it enters and as it exits the body. Now, fundamentally, breath is just that simple. Breathing oxygen and air, actually including all of the elements, not just oxygen, into our lungs, and then allowing our lungs to separate the oxygen from the nitrogen and to nourish the body. And then once again, the exhale takes out the unused portion of that breath to return to the world. In yoga tradition, this breath is the closest affiliation we have with the flow of prana, the energy of the universe. And that flow of prana moves in all sorts of ways. In fact, we call them the winds, the vayuus. And the repetition of expansion and contraction we call spanda. So as you settle in for our Just Breathe practice, begin by noticing the winds of your breath, where they travel and how they move, how quickly, how gently. And as you become more familiar and even more confident with the movement of the breath, transition that breath into the nose, in and out, and lengthen the exhale. Find a comfortable seat, a tall spine, and soften into the breath. So no matter what has already happened today, no matter what's left on your to-do list, planned or otherwise, right now is the moment to focus our attention on prana, on this life force energy that we welcome into our body, reuniting us as individuals, as separate organisms, to the union, the oneness that is all. This is why breath is the primary yoga practice. It puts us intimately into that space of union, of oneness. Notice how the breath moves. This is roughly what we call the vayuus, the winds of movement for prana. As the breath comes in, it's a slight upward action, perhaps from the tip of the nose into the sinus cavities, this upward prana lift. And then the breath continues to travel down to the lungs. This is an apana grounding of that same breath energy. Can you feel that rise and that descent? That rise and that descent. On the inhale, and its reverse on the exhale. There are 5 vayuus that the yogis teach. These are the first primary 2. Let's move on now to the thoracic region and tap into Vyana Vayu and Samana Vayu. Vyana is the expanding, the radiating. Can you feel the whole of your torso expanding, front, back, right, and left? Maybe even feeling your pelvic floor descend as you inhale and expand. Exhale, Samana Vayu draws you back as if hugging your most centered being. Your spine, yes, but more importantly, the Atman center. Vyanavayu expands. Samanavayu contracts. And together, these energies, these winds, reflect what we essentially call the pulsation, the spanda of the universe. Now that the breath has stabilized and maybe even brought you a little more intimate into the vayuus of prana herself, the fifth and final vayu is udana vayu. And this is a little more aggressive, an up and out energy, an up and out. You can equate it essentially to a vomit. And in yogic tradition, from the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, there's even a practice, a daily practice of forced vomiting, right, to clean the internal system. I'm not an advocate for this particular kriya, particularly given my history with eating disorders and food and body shape issues. So I'm not going to teach that, but it is similar to the Kapalabhati breath. So the forced exhale as the navel pulls back and the breath goes up and out. So we're going to take a round of, say, 10 slow, steady Kapalabhatis, focusing on that Udana Vayu, that up and out, helping us rid what we do not need anymore. So when you are ready, up and out. Relax and release. Now, you may have also felt some more of that samana vayu effort, particularly in your belly and your diaphragm region. So let's focus on softening on that. As we inhale, let the pelvic floor and the belly really soften. And then just enough drawing back in, not an aggressive drawing in. Focusing on that releasing, that opening, that viyana vayu. Just a little samana vayu. And again, viyana vayu. Feeling the muscles of the belly reset. And finally, come back to the prana and the apana, the up and down energy. Now it's a little mixture of all of the above. as we come into the 3-part breath, the expansion of the belly, the ribs, and the chest. Deflate the chest, the ribs, the belly, and as you deflate that belly, add the Samana Vayu up, a little bit of an Udana up to exhale out, right? So the challenge here is get the breath sequence first, and then see if you can layer on the mental energy of noticing the vayuus as you control your flow of breath in and out. Primary objective is to nourish your entire system. Secondary objective is to add on the philosophy. What can you notice? How can you go deeper? Deeper into the body and breath, deeper into the universal oneness connection. To see and to feel and to find your way home to our oneness. In this last minute, you're welcome to layer on a closing of the throat, that ujjayi, on the exhale, or even on both. So we're teasing out that Samana Vayu squeeze with the releasing, the opening, the softening, the Vyana Vayu. Find the downward apana. Connect with the upward rising prana. Feel the expanding Vyana Vayu. The drawing in of Samana. And that combination of up and out, the Udana. What are you breathing in? What are you allowing to fill your lungs and to nourish your body in mind, in thought, in energy? And what will you let go of? What will you allow to return to the universe? And I share this breath as a reminder of our connection and an invitation to consider the practice of forgiveness. As we welcome in what we need and we let go what is no longer serving. Which also means we let in forgiveness and let go of resentment. We let in the possibilities of imperfection as enoughness, our own and each other's. Because it's this imperfection that fuels our need for one another, reminding us of our need for all. That it is our nature to be one. Your hands come to rest together as we close this breath practice. And welcome a deeper study of forgiveness as we move through the remainder of our day. May you breathe deeply and move freely. May you labor lovingly and live vibrantly. Namaste. Thank you for breathing with me. And breathing for you is also breathing for all of us.